Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at creepy things people experienced. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. In my mom's house, the bed that my sister and I shared when we were younger breathes sometimes. It feels as if you're laying your head on someone's chest. For years, I didn't say anything about it because I would experience it mostly when I was alone in the dark. I would try holding my breath to see if it's my imagination. To be fair, I'm a huge scaredy cat, can't even watch horror movies at all, but it would continue to rise and fall. One day, I brought it up to my sister and mother, and they say they have both felt it. But since it never bothers or tries to scare them, they ignore it. I don't sleep on that bed anymore. I haven't noticed anything else off, but I do hate being alone in my mom's house. That's scary. For some reason, I was thinking at night there was someone below the freaking mattress. Oh, a breathing bed? Creepy. I have a spooky child. She's always talked about ghost friends and how they died. It's usually just a quick mention of them every now and then, but there's one incident I still don't understand. We were living in a rural little town at the time. She was about 4. She was playing out front on the patio and I was in the kitchen getting her a snack. I could see her perfectly through the door until I turned my back to reach in the cabinet. Just as I did, I heard tires squealing and a huge thump. I whipped back around and she wasn't sitting there where I had last seen her. I ran like mad over to the door and there she was, standing just to the side of the door so I couldn't see her from a previous angle. I looked all around as I was scooping her up. Nothing. Absolutely nothing was out of the ordinary. I put her down and she was perfectly calm. Me, I was on an adrenaline overdose. Me, what happened? I heard a crash. Her, there was an accident. Me, where? I don't see anything. Her, it was a long time ago. Me, I don't. Her, it's okay, Mum. Addie was just showing me how she died. Can I have a snack now? She still says spooky things, but nothing at that level since. Oh, that's scary. What? The fact that the mom heard everything but nothing happened. What the heck? Kids, I swear, kids always see ghosts and all that stuff, man. It's because they're too innocent. What would you guys do if your kid one day, they were just like to you? Mummy, I see ghosts. What would you do? I had my school ID written on a piece of paper. It had been a long morning. As I got in my car, it slipped from my pocket. I reached down to grab it and it blew under my car. I was annoyed, so I said F it and just left. Hours later, in front of my apartment, which isn't super far from campus, but not super close either, as I was exiting my apartment, I noticed that same piece of paper had blown right in front of my doorway and at my feet. Probably not the creepiest thing in my life, but it was pretty recent and definitely felt weird. What? Is that like just a coincidence? Or which nice ghost brought it back for them? Someone broke into my house while I was home alone when I was 19. I found them hiding behind this 7-foot tall toolbox my dad had in the basement. I was about 5 feet away and saw their hands. I told them I was gonna let them leave at the back door, but I was calling the cops. I locked the basement door and ran upstairs. Watched them run down the street with their shirt pulled over their head. About a month later, we got back from a trip out of town and we had been robbed. I can't imagine it wasn't the same person. I mean, this kid is smart. Honestly though, I wouldn't even have said anything. I would have just ran for my freaking life. Had a recurring dream in my late teens and well into my 20s about an older dude that was always wearing military uniforms. Mostly it was an all-white uniform, but sometimes olive or brown and at least once camo. He never said anything to me, even if I would try to engage him or ask questions. Just kind of looked at me and smiled. I can recall 5 different dreams he was in, but there may have been more. Kind of a short, stocky guy, white hair, clean-shaved face, just a calm demeanor. I haven't dreamed of him in over 10 years, but I still wonder what the hell that was all about. Huh? Maybe that's like the guardian angel. The person who's been protecting them all along. I like to believe that everyone has their own little guardian angels. When my grandparents passed away, my family moved into the house to help take care of my uncle, who was slightly special needs and had lived there his whole life. I got a lot of creepy vibes in that house and had a lot of nightmares while living there. One evening, I had the worst nightmare ever that was super realistic. Towards the end of the dream, I saw the scariest demon smiling at me with the blackest black eyes, or lack of, more like emptiness. Hundreds of razor-sharp teeth curled into a smile, and strange cracked white skin, almost like bone. The demon somehow conveyed to me that he was going to murder me just by smiling at me. The nightmare made me not want to sleep for weeks out of fear of seeing this thing again. I did not tell my family about this dream. I did not get along with this uncle who we lived with, and I rarely spoke to him unless completely necessary. The next day, after that nightmare, he asked me a question. He said, "Hey, do you still have that app on your phone?" The app he was referring to was some stupid phone app for reading EMF. I downloaded the app just for giggles a few weeks prior because, as I said, the house was creepy and I tried to see if I could pick up any messages from ghosts or demons in the home. I told him, yeah, I still have it, why? He said, oh, I was just wondering because last night I saw something standing at my doorway. And then he proceeded to describe the exact demon from a nightmare. I was so freaked out, I don't even think I properly responded to him. I told my family about this, and they agreed that something was in the house. None of us slept well the rest of our time there. Luckily, we didn't live in that house for very long before selling it. I still think about that demon from my dreams sometimes and hope I never encounter that smile again. Also, there's no way my uncle would have known what I dreamt because, like I said, I didn't tell my family about the dream. I fully believe that he saw the same demon in person that I saw in my nightmare. What the frick? Somebody else was living in the house for sure. It might not be like the same demon, but yes, the dream was like warning them. How scary. Isn't it crazy though how some dreams can just become reality? It could be like a freak coincidence, but yeah, I feel like sometimes when people dreams, it actually ends up happening in real life. Could be a coincidence, could be nothing, but is there like a correlation? When we were house shopping, we went to this big house surrounded by pretty dense landscaping in the front, bushes, mid-thigh and such. We met our realtor and walked through the house for a solid hour or so, then met on the front porch and talked a bit about what we liked, etc. We had parked near some bushes and the realtor, a petite female, had parked in the driveway. My husband and I got back in the car and continued to chat while the realtor left. Suddenly, about 6 feet away from the passenger door, a man stood up out of the bushes and walked into the house. He didn't look at us or give us any indication he saw us. We called the realtor, who in turn called the owners, who said it was their son and he doesn't really want us to sell. We ended up not buying that house and went off the market shortly after. I still wonder what the hell he was doing, hiding in the bushes, and I'm so glad the realtor had left before us. That's scary. Imagine being like, I love this house so much, and then you just park somewhere that no one can see, and then you just see a person go into the house. Who the hell is that? Why was he in the bushes? Why was he just hiding? Was he like squatting his own house? My grandparents died within a couple of weeks of each other, so we had a double funeral. After the funeral, all the family went back to my grandparents' house just as they had left it. After a few hours, people were drunk and began to argue about pointless bullshit. When the argument came to a head, the lights all suddenly dimmed and flashed a few times as if a power surge. It stopped the arguing immediately. I can't help but think it was my grandparents saying, "Cut it out from beyond the grave." I think so too. Like, people, stop it. Basically, the grandparents saying, how are you guys not letting us leave in peace? When I was around 23 years old, I was on a bike ride and stopped at the park to use the restroom. While I was in the store, a balding middle-aged man suddenly stuck up his head over the wall and looked down at me. When he saw me looking back at him, he looked startled, like he was expecting to see someone else, and immediately got back down and left. I finished up quickly because I thought something weird was going on, and I had left my bike sitting unlocked outside the restroom door. When I got back out, my bike was still there, but standing right outside the bathroom door was a 12 to 13-year-old boy who I'd never seen before, who looked right at me and struck up a conversation about my bike. Just pointless small talk. I looked around and saw that creepy old guy was still milling about in the parking lot, watching us talking. I was barely saying anything, basically just going, yeah, huh, okay. But the kid kept talking to me until the creepy guy gave up and got back in his car and drove off. As soon as the guy's car was out of sight, the kid said something to the effect of, thanks, bye, and then waved and walked away. Wow. Oh. What a smart kid, honestly. This person basically saved the kid without even knowing. So the balding guy thought the kid was in the stall. Ugh. Freaking creeps, man. Well, that's it for the video. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.